By now, you probably heard the news that Donald Trump has had a couple of house guests at Mar-a-Lago. Now, personally, I could care less who shows up at the guy's house. It don't matter to me. We already know he's probably had, I don't know how many women show up at this house. We already know that Republicans have showed up there to kiss the ring, among other things. One of the most prominent, I should say, being, of course, Kevin McCarthy, screaming that Donald Trump should be held responsible for what happened on January 6th, but now has reversed himself completely to the point where he contradicts everything he said. The two people I'm talking about are, of course, Kanye West, Yeezy, Yee, whatever the hell he calls himself right now, after his anti-Semitic remarks. And the second person that really burns me, that should burn you too, is anti-Semitic, global, racist, bigot, and all-around monster, Nick Fuentes. Now, I've talked about Nick Fuentes on previous videos. I'm not going to do it here. But let's just say that this guy is a stone cold 100% racist. This guy thinks that African Americans in this country were better off. Whoa, excuse me. There we go. We're better off. Sorry about that. The tripod's beginning to tip because of the wind. He says that African Americans in this country were better off pre-civil rights period. During that, in English, in good old-fashioned vernacular, that's the Jim Crow time, the Jim Crow years, where African Americans had no rights, where African Americans had no freedoms in this country. He's also a 100% Holocaust denier, saying that the Holocaust never happened, and that keeping in lockstep with Yeezy, Kanye West, whatever. Keeping in step with that, this guy is a stone cold anti-Semitic. Now, if Donald Trump were an intelligent person, we know he's not, but if he were an intelligent person, he would have nothing to do with these two clowns. Nothing. And he goes on Truth Social and defends it and saying, I know nothing about this. I know nothing about Nick Fuentes. I know nothing about Kanye West's anti-Semitic remarks. Of course he knew about them. How can you not know about them? Kanye West's career has been completely annihilated. He's lost millions, if not billions of dollars. He's lost his music career. His music is barely played, if it's played at all, anywhere on radio or XM radio. His streaming service, his streaming play has completely been dismantled. How can you not know about these comments? And more to the point, how do you not know about Nick Fuentes? This guy is one of your biggest supporters, Trump. He has a show on RSVP. I don't even know what that acronym is. It's a right-wing television network. I mean, how can you not know about this? How can you not know about these statements? The truth is, Trump, you didn't want to know. You didn't want to know because you don't want to piss off the anti-Semitics that are voting for you who voted for you in 2016, 2020, and who are probably going to vote for you again in 2024. If you actually decide to go to run for president, or if your dumbass is in prison or is barred from ever running for political office ever again in this country. The fact is, when you have anti-Semitics on your team, you need to start reevaluating who the members of your team are. When you have hateful people like Nick Fuentes and Kanye West, and especially Donald Trump and his supporters, screaming all this kind of hateful, racist, bigoted crap, then you need to start looking in your own soul and start looking at the fact that why are these people around me? Why do these people love me? Why do these people care about me? Why are these people supporting me? If I had someone like Nick Fuentes on my side, I would say, what am I giving off to these people, to this person that makes me like them? If I'm a person that has someone like Kanye West on my side, I'm asking the question, am I doing something that brings them to me, brings them to my orbit? Am I a racist against Jews or anyone else? But Donald Trump doesn't have the fortitude or the intelligence to do that. All he sees, everything he's doing is correct, and won't say anything unless he's forced to. And even if he's forced to, he won't do it. But let's get it out in the open, shall we? This is who Donald Trump is, and this is who Donald Trump will always be. Now you can appeal to the man's good nature. You can appeal to his sense of patriotism and his sense of goodness and his sense of morality, but he has none of that. He has no sense of morality. Otherwise, if I were Donald Trump and I saw someone like Nick Fuentes or Kanye West, I'm telling you, get the hell off my property and don't come back. But that's what Donald Trump, he doesn't have the guts to do that. Either he doesn't have the guts to do that, or he doesn't want to do that, and I wholeheartedly believe this, that is who he is. He is anti-Semitic. He is a racist, plain and simple. And we in this country are getting numb to that, and it's got to stop. Anti-Semitism has no place in this country. Prejudice and racism should have no place in this country. And the former president of the United States, God, I hate saying that. The former president of the United States, Donald Trump, is inviting them into his midst. And the hardcore racists in this country applaud him, and not enough of us say anything against it. And before I close this video, the Republican Party, where are you? Are you going to say something about this? No, you're not going to say anything about this because Donald Trump is now the head of your party. You're not going to say anything about it because you're terrified. Because if you say one thing, say just 3 words, this is wrong. You're terrified that Donald Trump is not going to pick you for his vice presidential running mate in 2024 if he actually does run. You're cowards. You know this is wrong. You know this is wrong. And you say nothing. You say nothing. The measure of a coward is when he says something, sees something wrong, and does nothing about it. The measure of a coward is when he hears something that he knows is wrong and won't say anything about it. And more to the point, the measure of a traitor. And I'm going to use that word very strongly. The measure of a traitor is when he sees or hears something wrong and says or does nothing or not enough to stop it. That is you, Republican Party. You know what Donald Trump is doing is wrong. You know what Kanye West is doing is wrong. You know what Nick Fuentes is doing is wrong. But you're not going to do a thing about it. That makes you traitors and cowards. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.